story of Lazarus, he's called out of the grave. He's been there for 4 days. And Jesus calls Lazarus to come out of the tomb. He's raised him from the dead. And can you imagine Lazarus stepping out and seeing Jesus? Like, here's Jesus standing in front of him. Here's Mary and Martha, his sisters. And he goes, nah, I'm good. And he goes, walks back into the tomb. No. He's going to sit down to supper with his family and his friends and live his new life given to him by Jesus. He's going to drink wine. It's in the Bible. He's going to eat gluten. It's in the Bible. I know which one's more evil than most of you. Why would you ever put those nasty grave clothes back? Why would you ever go back into the stinking, suffocating darkness and death of the tomb? Brothers and sisters, we've been raised from the dead. Like, Paul says, don't go back into the tomb. Don't go put those old grave clothes back on, you weirdo. Like, you have a new life. Walk in it. One of my favorite verses of any of our songs, an old hymn, And Can It Be? It sings to this moment. It says, long my imprisoned spirit lay, fast bound in sin and nature's night. Thine eye diffused a quickening ray. I woke, the dungeon flamed with light. My chains fell off, my heart was free. I rose, went forth, and followed thee. My chains fell off, my heart was free. I rose, went forth, and followed thee. As we're about to sing at the end of the service, you called my name, and I ran out of the grave. We follow Jesus out of the tomb by faith. And just like when Phil said, dunk the ball, I can say, Phil, I'm a third grade white boy. Do I believe or do I not? When Jesus says, dunk the ball, white boy, I can say, yes, Lord. We're about to look at a list of new things, new ways that we're called to walk in. And when we see this new way, this new life, we're going to see things that on our own we could never do, right? When Jesus says, come out of that grave, take off the grave clothes, and live this new way, he's going to say, I want you to love dunk by faith. I want you to forgive dunk by faith. You don't think you can forgive that person? You don't think you can release that anger and bitterness? You don't think you can actually start to be generous and care about other people more than yourself? I'm telling you, this is who you are now in Christ. And it's up to us to believe it and to walk in it or to crawl back into the tomb. So what does it look like to follow Jesus? This new self, this new outfit. Let's look at what the new way looks like. How does outfit change? And what I love here is Paul doesn't just give us the negative, he gives us the positive. The Christian life is not just about a list of don'ts. It's a whole new, better, more flourishing, loving way of living. So he highlights 5 things to put off and then to put on. So to put off, first of all, the grave clothes of lying. The grave clothes of lying, verse 25. Therefore, put away lying. And we might feel like we're back in preschool on this one. Do we lie, Johnny? No, Miss Becky. It might seem like an obvious one, right? But then why do we do it all the time? Now we're sneaky, right? But what we do is we falsely represent ourselves in order to look good, gain an advantage, right? Put ourselves in a better light. Brian Chaplin named a few that we falsely represent our work. This is especially easy in the internet age, whether you're at school. How much easier is it to cheat? Plagiarism is a huge thing right now. Claiming somebody else's work as your own. Time sheets, where you lie about how much work we've actually put in. Tax returns. Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, it's gently used. Okay. We falsely represent ourselves. Social media is a great one for this, right? Here's a case in point. This is what they wanted everybody to see that their hike looked like at the top. At the bottom, what did it really look like all of those 5 seconds? You told me it was a mile, right? Well, we exaggerate the good things so that we'll look better, right? Now sometimes we even weirdly exaggerate And as we look at pity, as we look for kind of martyr complex, like whatever can just put us in the place of what we
Thought you're not cold.
downplay our sin. We do
Not
this
bringing
with one
jacket.
another all the time. We don't really let people in, guys. We don't really admit the depths of what we're dealing with in our hearts. They say, yeah, ask an alcoholic how much they're drinking, and they're going to tell you, they're always going to downplay that. And Paul says, that's the old way. That's the tomb way. He says, put on the jersey of truth speaking. He says, speak the truth, each one to his neighbor. Because, and here's why, because we are members of one another. He says, we're this new body of Christ. And we're not going to be able to heal, we're not going to be able to grow if we're not being real with each other. If we keep putting on this facade of what we actually think and actually feel or are actually doing, then we can't help each other grow. He says, let's step into the light. That will involve painful exposure of the deep darkness. Second thing, he says, put off the great clothes of simple anger. Simple anger. Verse 26, be angry and do not sin. Now, this is huge. Notice what he said, be angry and do not sin. Anger is not a sin in and of itself. It's an emotion. God has emotion. God gets angry in the Bible. We see stories. But like any emotion, it's sinful when we let it control us. And this is where he goes with it. He says, don't give the devil an opportunity. When we're not walking controlled by the Spirit and his will, that's a heyday for the devil to step in and grab the controls. And this lack of control over anger can be seen in how long